I've been running blogs for over 8 years, and I want to be honest with you, getting traffic in 2026 is very different from what it used to be even 2 years ago. AI is changing how people search. Google is changing how it displays the results, and a lot of bloggers who were doing well are struggling. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the traffic sources that are still working in 2026, what the algorithms, Google, AI search, and Pinterest all have in common, and the one technical foundation that affects all of them. And first, let's talk about what's actually happening, because I think a lot of bloggers are confused about whether they should panic or not. Pew Research found that nearly 1 in 5 Google searches now produces an AI overview. And when that happens, studies show that clicks on the top ranking page drop by anywhere from 35 to over 50%, depending on the query type. That's a real shift. But it's interesting that it's mostly true for informational, how does this work type of searches. When someone searches for a specific tool, a calculator, a checklist, a comparison, there's usually no AI overview. The clicks still go to websites for these searches. And then there is a completely new traffic source most bloggers aren't even thinking about yet, AI search itself. So ChatGPT now has 800 million weekly active users. That's roughly 1 in 10 people on the planet. Perplexity is also growing fast, and Google AI mode is expanding. These platforms are sending traffic, and the visitors they send are already pre-qualified, already in research or buying mode. One study actually found that AI search visitors are worth about 4.4 times more than a regular Google click. So the picture isn't traffic is dying. The picture is traffic is shifting. And the bloggers who understand where it's shifting to and optimize accordingly are the ones that are growing right now. And the good news is that what makes AI systems trust your content and what makes Google trust your content actually overlaps a lot. And it starts with something technical that many bloggers skip. Your site's performance is part of your SEO strategy. Actually, it's the foundation of your entire website's success. And ultimately, your business. You can have the best content strategy in the world. Your site can look absolutely beautiful. None of that matters if your site is slow, because Google's core Web Vitals scores are a ranking factor. But beyond Google, AI systems like ChatGPT, Perplexity are also learning from engagement signals. If users land on your page and it loads instantly and they stay and read, that builds trust with AI systems over time. And if it's slow and people bounce immediately, that works against you across every algorithm. So how do you actually make your site faster? You use a performance plugin. And the best one in this category is WP Rocket, who kindly sponsored this part of the video. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't WP Rocket a paid plugin? Yes, it starts at $59 per year for one site. But here's how I think about it. If you ignore your site speed now and you have to fix it later, you're looking at hiring performance experts, which costs a lot more. WP Rocket is the smart early investment. What does it actually do? Well, everything. Page caching, cache preloading, JZip compression, lazy loading for images, minification of your CSS and JavaScript files, database optimization. It handles all of it, and you don't touch a single line of code. You install it, flip a few switches, and your site is immediately faster. I've seen sites go from failing their core Web Vitals to passing them just from installing WP Rocket. That directly translates to better Google rankings and better AI visibility. If your blog is a real business for you, not just a hobby, this is a no-brainer. So check my link in the description below. Your site and your traffic will thank you. Okay, so your site is fast. Now let's talk about search engine optimization, because it's not that, it's just evolved. A few things that have become more important recently, and I want to focus on what's actually moving the needle. Structured, intentional content. So Google and AI systems both prefer content that's clearly organized. Use headers, add a TLDR summary at the top of a long post, include comparison tables when you're evaluating options. This makes it easy for both humans and AI to extract value quickly, and AI systems love content that they can easily reference and quote from. The second thing is intent-based content, not just keyword-based content. So the old approach was find a keyword and write about that keyword. The new approach is first understand what the person actually wants and answer that completely. AI systems are getting very good at detecting whether content actually answers a question or just repeats keywords. The next thing you should remember is to diversify your content types. You should try and add free tools to your content. Calculators, checkers, generators. These are extremely strong traffic sources right now because AI overviews almost never appear for this kind of tool searches. If there is any kind of simple tool that you could build relevant to your niche, it's worth exploring. A mortgage blogger with a mortgage calculator, or maybe like a recipe blogger with a macro calculator, these will drive consistent, reliable traffic to your website. Next, don't ignore directories and listings. So if you have a local or niche-specific business angle, then getting listed in the right directories like Google Business Profile, niche-specific platforms, this tells both Google and AI systems that your brand is legitimate and active. It's low effort and high trust signal. And the underlying principle across all of this is that AI systems are learning which sites produce content that people actually engage with. Session duration, return visits, low bounce rates, these are all signals. So a fast site, great content, and clear structure. That's the formula. Now, a few things that help specifically with AI systems is one, to write conversationally. So AI systems are trained on how people actually talk and ask questions. And content that sounds natural and direct gets reference more than content that sounds like it was written specifically to rank on Google. What you can do also for AI tools is to add TLDR summaries at the top of your posts. And AI systems also love this because it gives them a clean, citable overview of what your content covers. You can use structured data and schema markup where it's relevant, because this again makes it easier for AI crawlers to understand your content. And then there is something that matters for AI SEO that most people are not even talking about: your brand mentions across the web. When people discuss your brand or your content in forums, in comments, on social media, that builds what I think of as AI trust. The more your name or your brand appears in legitimate contexts, the more AI systems start treating you as a reliable source. So show up in niche communities, answer questions on Reddit, participate in forums in your space. This compounds over time. You could also start a YouTube channel, kind of like what I'm doing here. And I actually have a detailed separate video on AI SEO specifically. I link it below and in the cards up there, but this gives you the foundation. Now, before I get to Pinterest, I want to say something that I think is the most important mindset shift for 2026. Every platform you rely on, Google, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, it runs on algorithm. And algorithms change. We've all seen it. Sites that were doing amazingly well lost half of their traffic overnight because of a Google core update. The one thing that algorithms cannot take away from you is your email list. This is the traffic that you own. You write an email, you click send, and you drive visits to your site, maybe to your videos, to your products, whenever you want, without asking any algorithm's permission. And as AI overviews reduce organic click-through rates, having that own audience becomes even more valuable, not less. So start building your email list now if you haven't. You know, even a simple lead magnet like a checklist, a free guide, a template, connected to a free email platform, say like Kit, for example, that actually allows you up to 10,000 subscribers on their free plan, this is enough to start. Every new subscriber is a direct line that no algorithm update can break. This is the shift that I see in every successful creator I've talked to recently. They have moved from traffic-based thinking to audience-based thinking. Because traffic fluctuates, but your engaged audience is stable. Now let's talk about Pinterest, because I think this is the most underrated traffic source for bloggers. And I want to spend some real time on it, because Pinterest has been my primary traffic source for over 8 years now. And I've been getting between 50,000 and 70,000 clicks per month from Pinterest to my website for free. And most of the pins that are driving that traffic are the pins that I created just a couple of months ago. So Pinterest actively rewards fresh content. This is number one. And new accounts, new pins, new sites, the platform doesn't care about your domain authority the way that Google does. So this matters especially right now when so many bloggers have lost significant Google traffic. Because Pinterest doesn't care about your Google rankings. It has its own search engine and it gives everyone a real shot. A few things that make Pinterest different and powerful at the same time. One, you can target highly competitive keywords that you would have almost no chance of ranking for Google. And pins can also appear in Google image search, by the way, so you are potentially getting double exposure from one piece of content. And then another thing that people don't realize is that Pinterest traffic tends to convert really well, because these are people that were actively looking for some ideas, products, and solutions. They're not just casually browsing like, say, on Instagram or Facebook. And I guess you want me to suggest you a strategy that works on Pinterest right now? So what you should do is start with keyword research in the Pinterest Trends tool before you design your pins. You should search for your main topic keywords and look for related terms that have consistent search volume, not just seasonal spikes. Then you can identify maybe 2 or 3 keywords per blog post and then create at least 2 pins per keyword, each with slightly different text overlay but linking to the same URL on your site. And schedule them 1 week apart. You shouldn't publish them all at once to avoid penalties for spamming. Then to save these pins, you need to have relevant boards on your account. So you need to create boards relevant to these keywords and then save pins rotating to each board once a week. The key is consistency. Pinterest rewards accounts that show up regularly with fresh content. This is a long game, but it is a stable one at the same time. I've been doing Pinterest for over 8 years. Now, if you want to go much deeper on this, I actually have a free Pinterest masterclass where I walk you through my full strategy. I'll link it for you in the description below. It's not a quick overview, it's a proper workshop where I show you how I drive tens of thousands of clicks per month from Pinterest and how you can replicate that for your own website. The link again is in the description below. Check it out, especially if your Google traffic has been inconsistent lately and you want a good alternative. I'm also linking for you my recent video on Pinterest marketing on this channel. Check it up there. And if this one was helpful, please give it a like and I'll see you in that next one.